Murphy's Builder Supply is where you need to go for all your home improvement projects and hardware needs. They've been serving folks in this area since 1946. Murphy's offers some products and services that you may not know about. They now sell ammunition, both bullets and shells. Murphy's also sells personalized tags for dog collars. They build customized screens for windows and doors. Murphy's can rekey locks, and of course they can make keys. They cut glass for windows, plus Murphy's has monthly door buster specials. Check their Facebook page to see what's on sale. Murphy's Builder Supply, 156 Northeast Broad Street, Jessup.
8:02 here at the Big Dog WIFO. Time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you this morning by Murphy Builder Supply.
Good morning, Jonathan. Again, June 8th is the day Georgia High School Association says teams can start conditioning and get practice. So we got a couple of the middle school coaches in to talk about what's going to take place at the middle school. We got Tommy Adams and Jamie Knight in. Guys, appreciate you coming in. But reading those guidelines of Georgia High School Association, I don't know what you're going to be able to get done. I mean, 20 kids at a time. I mean, you got over 100-some kids. I don't know how you're going to do it. I mean, plus you can't have more than one group. What's the purpose of that? Why can't you have a group in the gym and a group out on the field? Why? Anybody talking to these people? Anybody saying, what are we doing?
We really don't know for sure what they're, obviously, I'm sure they're trying to find, follow these COVID-19 guidelines, but we don't really know for sure what their reasoning is behind that. But I'm sure they got to protect themselves. So, whatever we got to do to make sure these kids are getting their workouts in and getting prepared, we're going to do. So
I guess the good news is at least they can show up.
That's right.
So
that's
20 at a time. So it's going to be a long day for some coaches. I mean,
it is, and it's going to be an adventure for all of us too, because obviously, these kids haven't been in since March. So kind of anxious to see how they come back and see if they're ready. And you'll find out who's been doing stuff since they've been home for sure.
Well, both of y'all are at the middle school. What middle school are y'all at?
Both Coach Knight and myself are at Arthur Williams Middle School.
Okay, so you're here to talk about your practices. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what we're going to do. So, obviously, like you just said, you can have a maximum of 20, players, and that includes coaches. So kind of what we're going to do is we're going to have 17, 18 kids. May push it to 19 if we have more than 2 or 3 groups. That way we can get at least 1, maybe 2 coaches per group, and we're going to have the kids drop off at Arthur Williams, and then once we reach capacity for those 17, 18 kids with a couple coaches, then we will send the next 17 to 18 that show up over to Jessup Elementary, and we'll have a coach over there also.
So how do you organize this for the first day? Do you contact all these kids and tell which 17 show up at what time? Or that's what I'm confused.
Well, this is the thing that's going to be the struggle. When Coach Knight and I put this thing together, we put contacts, for him and myself, and then also Coach Pruitt and Coach Royal over at Martha Puckett. So there's 4 emails up there that the parents or the kids can contact and let us know that they're going to be coming. And then the other factor that we haven't not gotten approved yet is Coach Knight is going to drive a bus, and they're going to have like 3 pickup spots in Screven over at the basketball courts, and then over what was the other one?
Odom General, and then Hall Richardson, if we can get it worked out, and if we have enough numbers. If it's feasible for us to take a bus to Scriven and Odom to do a pickup, we'll do it. Pick up and drop off. But if there's only 3 or 4, it's not going to be feasible for us to take a whole school bus. But the guidelines we got to follow is still the social distancing guidelines, and if the state will even actually approve us to use a bus at this time.
One of the things that we know is going to happen is if a kid gets on that bus in the morning, they are the only kids that can get back on that bus whenever we take them back to that drop-off spot. So whoever gets on in the morning, those 17, 18 kids that get on in the morning are the only 17 to 18 kids that can get on whenever we take them back. We can't mix groups, obviously. 1 to 2 coaches will be with each group. Can't change groups there. So kind of what our plan is take the first 17 to 18, hold them there at Arthur Williams, and then take the next 17 or 18, hold them there at Jessup Elementary. And we're going to have 2 groups going at the same time but on different campuses. So the the group that's at Jessup Elementary will be doing speed work, agilities, plows, those sorts of things. And then after 30 minutes, while that group's at Jessup Elementary, the other group will be inside the weight room at Arthur Williams. And then after 30 minutes of lifting, 30 minutes of speed and agilities, we'll take a 15-minute period there. We're going to sanitize everything, wipe everything down, and then we will exchange campuses with each group.
All right. So there's just a lot of guidelines you got to follow.
Yes,
a lot
sir.
of safety stuff.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be a lot of work. That's for sure.
It's going to be a lot of work. But I think once we figure out a system that's going to work to help everything flow very smoothly, I think it'll be all right.
So how are you getting the information out? I'm sure this helps, but I said you got the contacts for all these kids. You're calling all these kids and parents, or they got the information to call you, or how's it work?
Yes, sir. So I'll let Coach Knight handle that, and then once he finishes that, then we'll kind of want to discuss, why we're doing this and everything else. So
the kids that we already know at Arthur Williams that played this past year, and the ones that are interested, we're going to reach out this week and kind of make contact if they have not already contacted us. Eric Denny is going to run it through the press. I'm not sure if it was in the press this past weekend, but hopefully this week it'll be in. Talking about it, of course, with you today.
Right now they don't have a weekend paper. They're down to 1 day a week.
And then Dr. Cheryl McReady is going to send out a Kinvo message that basically says all of this information that we're talking about today, and that they're running through the paper, but with a Google Classroom. Same concept that these students have had to use since March, whenever the COVID-19 started. And so we'll get all that information out, and I'm sure just like anything else, even before this, during summer, you'll have a kid to show up, 2 or 3 weeks in the summer, and, I just heard about it. So we're going to have to face that. But the good thing about this is we're with middle school, if they can be here, we want them to be here. We want them to get the extra work. If something comes up, they got to go. They're on vacation. They're sick. Parents have something going on. They can't get a ride. No problem. It's not the end of the world. We want you here. We want you to work. And we're hoping that since these kids haven't had anything to do since March, and parents haven't had anything to do with the kids since March, they're ready to get them here and drop them off, and so we can get started. We're excited to be working together at Arthur Williams with football and some other sports, and so getting this ball rolling is really exciting.
It's exciting that they're finally letting kids on campus. That's the first step, but like I said, they said they're going to look at it 1 week and then kind of go from there. So hopefully more restrictions will be lifted as the time goes on. So
yeah, I'm not knowledgeable enough to.
The governor's lifting restrictions. Like I said today, bars and nightclubs can open up. So
right.
More and more things are opening up. So hopefully they'll open it up and let more and more kids. It's going to be hard. Like I said, 20 kids, no balls, no nothing. It's all strength and conditioning. Is that all we're doing?
Yes, sir. That's it. Again, it'll be weight room for 30 minutes, and then at the same time, 30 minutes outside, we'll set up drills. Obviously, you can't use sports-specific equipment, but you can do sports-specific drills.
This will run Monday through Friday, Monday through Thursday? How are you going to do it?
It'll be Monday through Thursday. So here's kind of the breakdown of how it's going to work. It'll be Monday through Thursday. It starts, obviously, next Monday, June the 8th, and it will be at Arthur Williams Middle School for both Arthur Williams and Martha Puckett. That's kind of something I want to touch on real quick before we go into, how the daily routine will go. So Coach Knight and I met with Coach Pruitt and Coach Royal, and, we kind of decided that the biggest thing is we want to put this Arthur Williams, Martha Puckett rivalry stuff, to rest. Because at the end of the day, Jessup Elementary, Odom Elementary, Martha Puckett Middle School, every school around here, what is their mascot? We're all Yellow Jackets at the end of the day. And this whole rivalry thing that's creating this animosity amongst, kids from different middle schools, I just don't think it's healthy, because at the end of the day, when they all become freshmen, they're all going to be playing together. So then it becomes their first 2 years, all they want to do is compare who did what when they were at separate middle schools. And, middle school is extremely important, but it's important to get the guys ready and get these athletes ready for the JV and varsity level. You don't win a state championship at middle school.
I've already thrown out there for years these two schools shouldn't be playing anything against each other. You want to play other schools, fine, but they shouldn't play against each other in any sport. I've thrown that out several times because I've talked to many ADs that have come through, like I said, the same way. You have these kids competing for 3 years against each other. Animosity builds up, and then all of a sudden you want them to come together and be teammates at the sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Right.
So, I've pointed that out for years. I said, why do we play against each other?
That's right.
I know why they do it. They do it because of money.
Yeah.
Look at the crowd that shows up.
Well,
it's a financial thing.
We're going to try to
money issue. They want to do it.
Right. But we're going to try to put this rivalry thing to rest. We're going to do as much as we can together. Hence why we're doing these workouts at Arthur Williams Middle School for both Martha Puckett and Arthur Williams. So I think that's going to help. We're also going to, once July rolls around and we figure out what probably the newer guidelines are going to be with practice rules and everything else, we're going to set up some stuff where we can take our athletes to Martha Puckett. Martha Puckett can come to us, and we can kind of, do some practices together and do all those things, So again, want to shut the rivalry thing down and just make it a one big community. That's the goal, But anyway, kind of how it's going to work is we start June 8th, next Monday. They'll be at Arthur Williams Middle School. Again, you will bring your athletes to Arthur Williams Middle School. Once we reach capacity there, then you can still drop off at Arthur Williams Middle School, but then they can just walk over to Jessup Elementary. There'll be another coach over there waiting for them.
Do they have to bring anything? I heard that they all have to have their own water bottles.
I was going to get to that and
make sure people understand that.
Right. But drop-off time is 8:15. The first groups will start at 8:30. They'll be done at 9:15. Each rotation of athletes will remain the same from start to finish. Basically what that means is there'll be no coaches or no players switching groups. Groups will consist of 17 to 18 athletes, or 17 to 19, I should say, and 1, 2, or 3 coaches, depending on how many groups we have that day. Groups will spend 30 minutes lifting weights, 30 minutes on speed and agilities, and then we will switch after a 15-minute sanitizing period. Now back to what you were saying is as far as what they have to bring with them. They're going to have to bring everything with them. They got to bring their shoes. They got to bring cleats. They got to be dressed and prepared. We are not allowed to give them any clothing, any shoes. They're not allowed to share any clothing, any shoes with any of their teammates. They have to bring their own towel for, sweat towel if they want one. They have to bring their own water bottle. We're not even allowed to turn on the, what do they call the trough, not the trough things, but, we got a couple, Coach Rothwell's got a couple of the water fountains set up with the separate, water spouts on them. We can't even turn those on.
We'll turn those on.
We can't provide them with any water.
We can't use the water fountains in the gym.
And they're not allowed to use the showers in the gym either.
That's right.
Time, right? So all that's been shut down.
That's right.
Like I said, reading all the restrictions, I was just shaking my head like, man, it's going to be a difficult process. It's going to have to be well thought out and well organized.
It is.
It's just going to be, it's kind of like you're handcuffed in a lot of ways to getting things done. But I said, hopefully as time goes on, the Georgia High School Association will lift more and more these restrictions because I think it's going to be difficult. I mean, like I said, the good news is they're there, but with all these restrictions and guidelines, it seems like it's going to be like I said, it has to be well organized. Kids have to be on the same page. Parents have to be on the same page because, like I said, all these stuff they have to bring. What happens if a kid doesn't have a water bottle? That's what I'm thinking about. A lot of these kids don't have what they, so how do they go? The schools normally provide stuff like that, but you're saying they can't do it under these guidelines.
If they don't have a water bottle, run by the grocery store, pick up a gallon, and keep refilling it every day.
Yes,
I mean, that's.
But again, hopefully this will go smooth. Like I said, what else do we need to stress that, so y'all reaching out to the people, or they're reaching out to you, by email?
A little bit of both.
Right.
Our emails, real quick, we'll go through Martha Puckett's. To contact Coach Brian Pruitt is Brian, Brian Pruitt at wayne.k12.ga.us. Or Coach Sid Royal, sid.royal at wayne.k12.ga.us. Coach Adams, Tommy.Adams at wayne.k12.ga.us. And then mine for Coach Knight is james.knight at wayne.k12.us, ga.us. Another thing that we want to stress is GHSA made it clear that the physicals for this path for the 1920 school year are good through July 27th. So no kid has to worry about going. If you already have a physical, you don't have to worry about going back to the doctor as of now. But before July 27th, you'll need to get one before we go back to school. Any student that doesn't have one, especially with elementary schools, 5th graders coming up to 6th grade that want to participate, and this is not just for football, this is for cheer, softball, cross country, all the fall sports that we have here. They'll need it. And for the month of June, Paul Kiff with Southern Family Medicine, who's done a wonderful job for us and helped us out a lot, is doing them for $15. For the month of June. Now, you have to be a Wayne County student. This is not open to, all the surrounding counties, but for a Wayne County student for the month of June, it's $15 at Southern Family Medicine. And, their information, you can Google their information. It's 999 South Macon Street here in Jessup.
I also think Miss Nicole Landon sent out an email that stated that Apple Care is doing them for $15 as well.
Yeah, we got that press release today. We had it on the sports. I said there's 2 locations they listed because due to the cancellation of the annual school physicals event normally held in April, the following offices have agreed to administer athlete physicals for Wayne County students during the month of June for $15. Again, Southern Family Medicine, as you mentioned, 999 South Main Street, and also Apple Care at 111 Colonial Way. So those are the 2 locations that she sent out on the press release. So make sure they high school, so I guess middle school kids have to have that physical as well. Is that correct?
If they do not have one from the previous year, yes, sir.
Okay. So make sure do they have to have that before they start the workouts on Monday, or how does that work?
If they did not have one as of the 1920 school year, so if they got one back in April of
so
this,
if they had
this
one
past
last year, they're
good until July 27th.
But if they haven't had, I got
yes,
you.
sir.
So.
Something else we wanted to kind of hit on as well is we really need a parent or the player to reach out to one coach from the school that they're going to be attending, so that we can get an idea of exactly how many athletes are going to be showing up come Monday. That's going to be a determining factor in whether we're allowed to. Well, obviously, if we're allowed to get a bus, it's going to be a determining factor if it's worth the gas and everything else, and then also how we're going to organize our groups. So we ask you to please do not just show up Monday morning, drop your kid off, and take off. Kind of give us an idea of who's going to be there, and give us an idea of how many we're going to have so that we can get those set up. Also, too, I know that these athletes are used to getting breakfast and lunch every day before and after they work out. There will not be any breakfast, and lunch will be provided on Tuesdays and Thursdays at Jessup Elementary. It'll be obviously bagged to-go lunches, so whenever we finish with our workouts, the kids can just walk over to Jessup Elementary, grab a bag, and go. And then the last thing that we really want to hit on is, if you drop your kid off and they are in that first group, it is over at 9:15. Please don't leave your kid there until 11:30, 12 o'clock with 40, 50 other kids, because if they're on 2 different campuses, they're going to be a little more difficult to keep up with, for one. And then secondly, Coach Knight's going to have to drive a bus to take these kids back. And some of these other volunteer coaches that we have, which I want to touch on in just a second, are going to have to get back to their daily jobs and everything else. So it's going to be difficult if you drop your kid off at 8:15 in the morning and leave them there until lunch. So as soon as that workout is over at 9:15, we would really like for you to be there waiting on your kid to come out, not your kid waiting on you to come pick them up.
Sounds good. Like I said, you may want to stop by the rec department. You know, they got rec games starting this week, so you might want to, I'm sure a lot of those kids are the same age. You might want to get that information out to them as well, so get that information at the ballpark. And, you know,
it's a great idea.
So, as those start today at Bill Morse Park at 5:30, so it's good to see those events getting underway as well.
Man, so, I know those kids are ready to get going, and I'm sure those parents are ready to get them out of the house for a little bit.
I mean, people are just ready to get out and do things, so, you know, hopefully this will go well. I said, we're just hoping for a high school football season and a regular football season, regular school year. That's what we're hoping for. So
I think
things are looking better as we move, so, but, you know, with all this craziness going on the last couple of weeks, and everybody not social distancing, they're telling what's going to happen. So,
and I think this kind of what they're doing starting June the 8th with the small groups, I really believe this is like a trial run just to see what's going to happen. They're going to let it run up until the week after.
That's what George Hines, that's what Robin Hines, the GHSA director, said. He said they're going to do this for a week or two and then see how it goes, and then hopefully, you know, lift more restrictions as time goes on.
Right.
I said, I just can't imagine. You know, I know there's a lot of high school teams that got over 100-some kids, you know, involved in the program. I know these are voluntary workouts in the summertime, but most kids know that, you know, voluntary means to be there.
Voluntary's in quotation marks.
Right. So you know they're going to. So, but if you have over 100 kids in your program and you're limited to 20 on campus at one time, I thought the thing that's really struck me is I couldn't understand why they couldn't have 20 in a gym and 20 on the field, and at least have 40. You know, that's because he gave a resounding no when they was asked that question. You know, can you have two different workouts going on the same, you know, he said no, on one campus, 20 kids, that's it. So, I mean, I thought that was kind of interesting why they did that, but I guess they're doing it because of safety reasons. Like I said, you have to sanitize everything in between workouts. That's going to take a while, so it's going to be an interesting process to see how it goes in the first week or two.
And I think that's why they're doing it, you know, because you're going to have that 15-minute dead period there where you got to sanitize and clean everything. And I mean, you know, these kids haven't been around each other in, you know, who knows how long. Some of them have, but they haven't been around in large groups. So if you got 19 kids sitting over here 100 yards away from 19 other kids, you know what's going to happen. I mean, it's not going to take long. And next thing you know, you got 38 kids right there together.
Exactly. Well, hopefully it'll go well. We appreciate you coming in. Anything you want to stress again? Because this is for both middle schools at one location, right? Both Martha Puckett and Arthur Williams are going to be at Arthur Williams Middle School practicing.
Yes, sir. It'll be, like Coach Knight just said, for the month of June, from June 8th through June the 25th, which is that last Thursday before, you know, Dead Week.
And stress to parents, again, what all the kid needs to bring. They need to have everything, right? They need to be, when they show up, they should be dressed, ready to work out. Is that correct?
Dressed, ready to go. Need to have tennis shoes for inside and cleats to wear for outside on the field for the speed and agility drills. They need to have on shorts and a T-shirt or whatever they're going to wear to work out in. If they don't have a water bottle, I don't suggest you put them in sweatpants and a hoodie. So, but they do need to bring their own water bottle, and if they want to, you know, bring a towel for, you know, whatever case may be, they can bring that towel. But obviously they can't share a water bottle with anybody else, and they cannot share a towel with anyone else. So,
just for people listening, what about the numbers? You know, what did we have last year? I mean, how many kids on each middle school team? What kind of numbers we're talking about?
With talking with Coach Pruitt, they said that last year they averaged around 30 or so a day, and Arthur Williams averaged around 20. So that, of course, would be, you know, over our 20 allotment, especially with coaches. And so that's when we're doing two different groups. So we're hoping to be, you know, pushing 40 kids with coaches for two groups, doing a group from 8:15 to 9:15, and then from 9:15 to 10:15. And so if we can manage to be close to those numbers for 2 hours with two different groups, I mean, that's a lot of kids for football come August.
And here's the craziest scenario I hate to throw out there, but say we got the groups out there and all of a sudden it starts thunder and lightning. You got to bring everybody in. What do you do when they all have to gather?
Take the group that's at Jessup Elementary into the gym at Jessup Elementary.
Okay. So
and then we'll just do speed and agility drills in the gym.
I got it. So Jessup Elementary being that close by kind of helps out there.
Yes, sir.
I just hate to throw that scenario out. I was just wondering what
No.
We have you know as well as anybody at this time of year those thunderstorms pop up in the afternoon. So.
That is right. We're hoping that we can get this stuff done in the morning, so we don't have to worry about those afternoon storms. But I wanted to kind of hit on our coaching staff over at Arthur Williams as well. Obviously be myself and Coach Knight, and we're picking up a new community coach and a new certified coach, and then obviously Coach Albert Kelly will be returning. But then our new certified teacher coach is Coach Brockington. Obviously that helps with baseball. He's going to come help us out. He hasn't coached football before, but he's an extremely, extremely smart guy, and he catches on everything super quick. So, and he's great with the kids. I know he's going to work really well for us. And then Coach Twilley, who obviously owns Hurricanes up here, he's been a community coach for freshman and JV team for the last 3 years, but he's going to come and be a community coach for us over at Arthur Williams. And then again, Coach Albert Kelly will be coming back as well. So that's our staff over at Arthur Williams. Myself, Coach Adams, Coach Knight, Coach Brockington, Coach Twilley, and then Coach Kelly. So we got some pretty good coaches, that are hopefully we can develop these kids and get them ready for the next level.
It sounds like a great staff. So, again, I know the kids are excited. And like I said, I was glad that Georgia High School Association finally gave us that date, June 8th. Like I said, hopefully after a week or two they'll lift some restrictions and we'll get back to normal or some type of normalcy. But, again, just stress again to the parents, have these kids ready, dressed, have the towel, have the water, and make sure, like you said, when the practice is over, please come pick them up. Don't let them hang around because that'll just mess up the next group as well. So.
That's right. And could, if you start getting an outbreak because people aren't following these guidelines, worst case scenario, something you don't even want to speak of, but, if you start getting another outbreak, they could shut this whole thing down. Right. So it's very important that we follow these guidelines and follow them very closely.
Yep, no doubt about that. So that's the least we want. We definitely don't want anything.
I'm tired of sitting at home.
Yeah, people are tired of staring at four walls. That's for sure.
That's right.
So, well, we appreciate y'all coming in. Like I said,
thank y'all for
we'll
the
try
time.
to continue to let people know this is going to take place a week from today.
Yes, sir.
Monday, June 8th is the day everything gets ready.
Bob. I appreciate it.
Good to see y'all.
Good to see you.
Let us know how it goes, and like I said, we'll look forward to a good football season in both Martha Puckett and North Williams.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
We'll be back with more of the show right after this.
Congratulations to the graduating class of 2020 at Wayne County High School. The following businesses, individuals, and organizations wish you good luck and good fortune in the years to come. Calvary Baptist Church salutes Lily Adams, Janice Altman, Blair Carey, and Hannah Landon. Corson's Carpet and Vinyl on the Savannah Highway would like to congratulate all 2020 graduating seniors. Sheriff John and Marcia Carter would like to congratulate the following graduating seniors: Gracie Carter, Hannah Wise, Blakely Ray, Mark Ogden, Seth Henderson, J.C. O'Quinn, and all graduating seniors. Scriven Warehouse would like to congratulate all 2020 graduating seniors.
Already first day of June on this Monday morning at 8:30. Butch and Bob Show on WIFO, brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply.
Yeah, just a couple of final notes. A reminder of the blood drive today at Calvary Baptist Church from 2 to 7 at the gymnasium. Again, all walk-ins are welcome. All blood types are needed. So, again, you get the chance to give the gift of life today. These blood drives are pretty important during this pandemic crisis. Also a reminder that this is the third and final week of early voting. Again, so far after 2 weeks, the total number is 919, which is kind of low. You're talking about 15,000 registered voters in Wayne County.
Well, a lot of those are going to be probably mail-in this time around.
Oh, they got about, I'm not sure what number they gave me on that, but again.
I thought it was kind of on the high side considering.
It is kind of high. Let me see if I got the number. I think they did send me the number. I think they said they've got about 1,900 paper ballots.
Oh, wow.
But again, we got over 16,000 active voters.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Again, hopefully it'll pick up this weekend on Tuesday, June the 9th. I know a lot of people like me, they just like to vote on the day of Election Day. So it's an important races on the ballot, so make sure you get out and vote. And again, we'll have the results for you a week from Tuesday. It's hard to believe, but the election is going to take place Tuesday, June the 9th. Is the primary day in the state of Georgia. So just want to encourage everybody to get out and vote. That's going to do it for today's show. Jonathan, have a great day.
Have a great day, Bob. World-famous Butch and Bob Show on the Big Dog brought to you this morning by Murphy Builder Supply. 8:32, up next, a quick update from Fox News Radio.
Finally!
Honey, they had 34 shades of white.